Hello my strawberries. Today we have two stories, please enjoy listening to it. First story. My boyfriend secretly met with my bully. I'll keep it brief. I'm 21 and in a long-distance relationship with my boyfriend because we go to different colleges. This morning, I asked him when to call him later, and he mentioned he had plans to meet someone. He said it was an old friend, and after some guessing, he told me it was a family friend. My boyfriend often hangs out one-on-one with his female friends, which has never bothered me before because I trust him. But today, something changed. A few hours ago, while on Instagram under my photography account, I saw a story he reposted. It was a picture of him at a restaurant with the caption, "Milkshake Stealer." The original post was from the girl who bullied me throughout middle and high school. Seeing this sent me into a panic. I'm still in shock. For some background, I've been dating him since our senior year of high school. The bullying stopped then, partly because he was popular and he and I started dating. He knew about her and even joked that he saved me from her. He's aware of how badly she affected me, yet he still met up with her and lied about it. When I switched to my main Instagram, I noticed he had blocked me from viewing this story, probably forgetting about my other account. I haven't confronted him yet because he's asleep, but I feel so betrayed and hurt. I'm usually very relaxed and not insecure, but this has really upset me. I don't know whether I'm more hurt by him hanging out with her or by him hiding it from me. Update. I just spent the last hour crying, but I've made the tough decision to break up with him. Also, a massive thank you to everyone for your supportive and kind messages, I'm incredibly thankful. Without your encouragement, I don't think I could have done this. Your support means the world to me. After a sleepless night filled with anxiety, I decided to confront him as soon as he woke up. Here's how our conversation unfolded. I asked him about blocking me from his story. He denied it, but I told him I saw it from my second account, and he fell silent. He then asked if I was angry with him. Thanks to your advice, I stood firm. I told him yes, I was very upset, he was hanging out with someone who made my life miserable. He claimed I was overreacting, saying he met her because she was in the area and he couldn't say no. I need to add something important I initially forgot. When explaining why he met her, he said he tends to befriend everyone and that she seemed to have changed. Our discussion escalated as he continued to deflect and minimize his actions, which felt more like gaslighting the more we talked. Eventually, I told him he had destroyed my trust and I wanted to break up. Surprisingly, he was calm and simply said, "If that's what you want," which only hurt more. When I asked if he didn't care about me, he claimed he did, but not when I was disrespecting him. His reaction was cold, especially when he criticized me for confronting him right after waking up. I just couldn't hold back because of my anxiety. One thing that really hurt was when he told me, "Don't dump your insecurities on me, I'm not your therapist." He's made similar comments before when I tried to discuss our issues, telling me to go to a therapist instead. In the beginning, he was supportive when I felt anxious or depressed, but in the last year and a half, he's distanced himself whenever I needed him. To keep this brief, I'll wrap up here. If you're interested in more details about our conversation, I can share them in the comments. Right now, I'm still feeling shaken and nauseous. He was really harsh, and although I'm mourning the relationship, I'm relieved it's over. I don't want to be with someone who treats me poorly, especially after everything I've been through. And for those of you concerned, I'm safe at home with my mom's support. Thanks again for all your kindness, it's been overwhelming in the best way. P.S. He hadn't initially blocked me, but he did after our conversation. However, he unblocked me and started calling on Instagram after realizing I blocked his number. I've now blocked him there too. I'm feeling anxious and overwhelmed, but I'm confident that breaking up was the right choice. Second story. Am I the A for choosing a gold dress for a wedding? My best friend Dan 30M married Lauren 27F yesterday. Dan and I have been close since high school, always just friends with no romantic feelings, but Lauren has never been comfortable with our friendship. Throughout their 3-year relationship, Lauren insisted I never meet Dan alone, suspecting my intentions despite my happy marriage. I assumed her conservatism played a role, and while Dan tried discussing this with her, her discomfort would briefly subside before resurfacing. Even though it wasn't ideal, seeing Dan happy was enough for me to accept the situation. I was initially supposed to be in the groom's party at the wedding, but Lauren objected to changing traditional gender roles at their wedding. To avoid conflict, I decided to attend as a regular guest instead. The dress code was warm tone garden party, encouraging earthy warm colors. I chose a bronze/orange dress that matched the theme perfectly, according to the examples they provided. The ceremony was beautiful, but during the reception, Lauren confronted me aggressively. She accused me of wearing gold to outshine her, calling me trashy, and demanded I leave the wedding. Stunned and wanting to avoid a scene, I left with my husband after quickly saying goodbye to Dan. Dan later expressed his disappointment that I left early. Lauren's mother also texted me, blaming me for spoiling the wedding by wearing a gold dress, equating it to wearing white. I hadn't realized this was a faux pas. Now, I'm contemplating reaching out to Dan to explain, but I'm unsure if I was actually at fault. Update. I wasn't sure what to expect from sharing my story with strangers online, but I'm incredibly grateful to my husband for suggesting it. I really needed an impartial perspective on this whole, wearing gold to a wedding debacle, and now it's clear that the dress was never really the issue. Some of you asked if my dress stood out too much, and honestly, while I may be biased, I don't think it did. Another guest wore the same style in dark red, which we both found amusing. Slip dresses are quite common for weddings here, and it was even the type recommended by the bride. Many of you pointed out that the issue seemed to be more about me personally than the dress itself. I want to start this update by thanking my husband, who not only suggested I post here but has also enjoyed reading all your comments with me. He even posted a photo of us this morning, playfully captioning it, "My gold prize of a wife, I am winning in life thanks to you." Last night, Dan called me to clear the air. He learned from his mom, ironically wearing a yellow gold dress at the wedding, that Lauren had misrepresented the situation, claiming I insulted her dress while intoxicated, which led to my being asked to leave. Dan had doubts about this version of events, and his mom confirmed his suspicions. Dan was clearly worn out and seemed defeated when we spoke. He half-joked that I should have stayed and hit the open bar instead of leaving, but he understood my decision and thanked me for taking the high road. He apologized for the ordeal, revealing that he and Lauren have ongoing issues about his friendships, especially with me. Lauren, it seems, has not let go of her dislike for me and has been pressuring Dan to cut ties, claiming that's what a good husband would do. I reassured Dan that I'm here for him, willing to step back if it helps, and that he should focus on his happiness. They were supposed to start their honeymoon immediately after the wedding, but when he called, they were still at home, which was telling. I've since blocked Lauren and her mom, forwarding their messages to Dan as some of you suggested. Thanks again for all your insights and support.